So, Bill, thanks for meeting with me today. Can you give a little bit of background on yourself, the business, and yeah, kind of how you got here?
Hey, Keegan. Yeah, thank you. So I've been in this business for about 10 years. In the past, I was doing lead generation for banks and insurance companies, did some consulting, sales consulting for banks on how to sell off of lead generation or marketing. But then I got into this business about 10 years ago and went through different stages of running a business, especially not knowing much about construction. Had to develop a lot of systems for marketing and sales and grow through that. It took years to find the right people and to get moving in the right direction. And that's where we're at now. Like, we're starting to move. Everything is starting to click.
Gotcha. Okay. And just so people have a little bit of context on where you're at,
Yeah.
how much revenue did the business bring in last month, and how much are you projected to do next 12 months?
So you had to ask me about the worst month, but last month, boy, you don't want to ask me about the month prior to that.
Well, what have you done the last 3 months, let's say?
Okay, so the last 3 months, we're at about 300,000. We're averaging about 100,000. July was a good month for us. We did 175. August was a bad month, but we were going through transition with one of our sales reps, trying to bring on a new person, taking someone out. I was traveling a lot, so that might have had something to do with it. But we were below our average last month, but over the last quarter, it was about 300,000.
Gotcha. Okay. And what are your projections for the next couple months, next year?
So September, what are we on the 11th today? We've sold 225,000 in the month of September. We have about 80,000 ready to go. Like, we're going back to meet with them for a third time just to go over material. That's not even in that number. But we'll probably break 350 this month, which would be an enormous month for us.
Wow.
But prior to this, about 3 weeks ago, I planned out that we would do about through September, October, November, and December. Another 800,000 was our goal, about 200,000 a month.
Okay. Okay. And you're on track then. Well on your way.
This month we are on track. So we'll see November and December. Some of the things that you and I might talk about in this discussion is what we're going to do with some of our other marketing that you might be able to help us with. But November, December could be tricky, but as long as people are requesting appointments, I think we can keep our numbers where we need them to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then going back kind of with our relationship, how did you initially hear about us? When did I know? I mean, I know, but when did you initially hear about us?
So it's funny because I get probably 5 to 8 calls a day that are, I can get you on the front page of Google, or I have the best leads, I can get you appointments, whatever it might be. And typically, and I'm sure you know this if you're making outbound calls to contractors, I avoid most of those calls, probably 90% of them. The last few that I've dealt with, you being one of them, their introduction was better. And being that I used to do phone sales consulting, I listened to you because I was like, I'm going to respect the salesperson in him. And you really talked you didn't over talk, you didn't oversell what you were doing. You just told me exactly what you felt you could do and how you'd be able to benefit my business. And I think you may have closed me that call or the next call, but I thought it's definitely worth researching. And then, I think you told me we would do 8 or 12 appointments. You beat that the first month. You said the second month would be maybe 10 or 12. You doubled it. And from there on, it's just been great. But I think you just cold called me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was back in, I want to say that was back in November of last year, maybe something like that. It was late last year, I think. Can you talk a little bit about where the business was at before we started working together, things you tried, what the business looked like?
Yeah. So I've tried pretty much any marketing strategy that's out there. I'll take a look at, or I'll think about. But I'm the kind of person that I don't mind buying a lead, like on a per lead basis, because then I can track my numbers on it. I buy 100, 12% sale, whatever it might be. But you were more like, hey man, I'm going to get you some calls and appointments. And I was intrigued by that. But I've done Home Advisor. I've done advertising through Yelp, Google, other Facebook vendors, social media vendors like what you're primarily doing. I've done advertising to my existing client base, postcard mailers. I've pretty much done it all over the last 10 years in this business. Obviously, the last several years, the shift is more towards, your Google, your Yelp, social media stuff. So, but I've tried everything.
Yeah. Okay. And do you remember it? If you don't remember your numbers, it's all right. But about how much revenue were you guys doing monthly, end of last year, or what did you finish the year off last year in terms of
So
revenue?
last year we were right at about 1 million. If we were doing over 100,000, it was a good month. We were doing under 80. It was like, okay, we had a little bit of off month. That was last year. Our goal was to double too, and we will. But from there we want to double again. So
Yeah.
I think we're in the doubling again phase. So we're trying to get our numbers now. From when you and I met, I want to do 4 times that starting this month.
Yeah.
So if we were doing 100,000, we need to do 400,000 a month. And we're on pace to do it this month. But there's with marketing, it also is cumulative. When we deal with one of your leads for $100,000 project, we don't go in September and they close in September and we start work in September. We go in September, they make a commitment in October, we may start in November. So those numbers draw out. So what we are doing now, hopefully we'll start seeing that snowball effect where every month we're compounding on what we did the prior.
Yeah.
So I keep telling the guys, like, if we can do 6 to 8 appointments each a week, get the appointment, the estimates in quickly. We follow up on the estimates, keep our numbers where they are. We're going to compound on what we did 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
that
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So you were doing about 1 million last year. What did you like about all the different marketing you've tried? Because you've done a lot of it, you've done a lot of your own, tried a lot of different stuff. What have you liked about other marketing companies? What have you disliked about other marketing stuff?
So in the past, really, I probably told you this, just get me someone to talk to. Like, I'm as a lead generator, past lead generator, I don't need a sale. I don't need a lay down. It's not your job. Your job is to find someone who's interested, whether it be very little interest or very high interest, and get us in front of them. So immediately, once I can get in front of someone, I believe it's a good lead. I never say this is a bad lead. If you get in front of all broke people, that's different. But you're not doing that. But when we get in front of a lead, I'm sorry, go back to that. What was the question?
What kind of marketing? I guess what do
Yeah.
you like about past marketing and dislike about past marketing?
So if we can contact the lead, not the appointment, because in your case, you're getting us appointments. If we get a lead from, let's say, Home Advisor, and we get a 70% hit ratio, we can contact them. Then I think that's a good lead. Some other lead sources, their leads are cheaper. They don't, get you a phone number on all of them, and we're only getting 10% contacts. So we're wasting a little bit more time with them. But if we can contact the lead, I consider it a good lead source. And if they own their house.
Yeah.
If they don't own their house, then that's not a good lead. But I've been happy with other social media leads that we've done. When you contacted me, I just started with another group and I was happy with them, but they weren't getting us appointments. They were getting us leads that we'd have to follow up with, try to get them. And those, we were getting a 60 to 70% appointment ratio, which is fine. But we also found that some of those leads weren't as qualified or as willing and ready. Where with your leads, their appointments, we're not having to try to find them. We're just showing up at the house with the appointment that you drill down on them and let them know exactly when we're coming. You've sent them data on us, and then we show up. So
Yeah.
You definitely accelerated everything we've been doing in the right direction.
Okay. Gotcha. And I know I cold called you out of the blue and you luckily gave me the time of day, but were you skeptical at first?
Oh, you're always skeptical, and I had to think, it's $2,000 or whatever it was at the beginning. And I thought it's worth it. If it works, if it doesn't, this might be the last social media. And I was getting some success with the other social media and you were talking appointments. So that was different for me. Like, appointments are much harder to get than a lead. Like you told me the other day, you're getting maybe 400 leads, but only setting 60 or 70 appointments
Hmm.
because not every lead turns into an appointment. So I'm not having to see all that. I just get the appointment. So it's a
Yeah.
beautiful situation. But yeah, I was skeptical, like uh, not any more skeptical, but you made it, you eased my mind the way your approach was.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. And I know you've tried a lot of, you're working with the other agency. Do you remember what the first month was like working with us?
Well, again, you were getting to my top sales guy, so I wasn't involved as much with the appointments. I knew they were coming. He was working them. We didn't get any sales the first month, but that's again, those tickets are not, come out and quote a $500 job. They were 50, 60, 80, $100,000 jobs. So, but I knew the appointments were going in the right direction. We were getting appointments. The people had money and interest. And then all of a sudden it started to get like maybe 45 days in, we got a $30,000 sale, and then a 50, 60, 80. And now they're coming in regular.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And do you happen to have those numbers in terms of like sales from ours, all that stuff, the ROI?
So yeah, so I'm going to go on only what we've gotten a money on.
Yeah.
So like some people have committed to us, but they haven't given us a deposit yet, but they're trying to work out scheduling. And that's another 100,000 on your leads actually. But
Okay.
and we'll have that next week. But on what's been closed, so I break everything out by website, lightning growth, referrals, repeat business. Let's just bundle everybody else into another vendor category. And then I'm a not sure category because they called in and we didn't track it properly when they called. And right now, the not sure's come in at 10%, which I believe you're part of one of those. There was a 20 something $1,000 kitchen or bathroom that came in that was probably a call from you.
Hmm.
But we're not going to count that, but that's about 10% of our business. The referral, our customers referring us to somebody, was about 17% of our business last month. We had some really good referrals. And our repeat business was about 16%. So those combined are about 33% of our business. And maybe we'll talk about this later, but I'm hoping that there's a way that you can help me get more repeat business and referral business off of that and some of the things you might be able to help with. And then let's go to our website. So our website traffic has increased over the last 3 months, way too much for what's normal for our website. So I did a little digging after we talked about coming on and doing this. So through Google, the top search for me is not bathroom remodeler, it's CHS Construction.
Mm,
So why is that? Because they're going
Facebook.
to Instagram or
Yeah.
Facebook, they're seeing your ad, they're communicating, deciding what they want to do. Go to my website, fill the form out. Some days we're getting 2 or 3. That's what made me think, let me start asking these people. So now we all ask when we call our website lead, how did you find our website? How did you find us? Oh, I went to Google. Oh, so you went to Google. Okay, great. That's a normal lead. But when they say, I saw you on social media, which has happened several times, our website traffic, our website sales is 22%. You might be part of about 10 or 15% of that,
Mm,
half of that, meaning of that
yeah.
number, because we're now getting kitchens and bathrooms coming through our website.
Mm,
And we weren't getting all kitchens and bathrooms to our website just a few months back. And I don't think it's anything our website is doing, if you understand what I'm
yeah.
saying. So let's not even count that because we believe they came to the website.
Yeah.
Lightning growth is 36% of our business. And you're probably missing the 5% on the not sure's and another 10 or 15% on the websites. So you could be
Yeah.
almost half of our business right now. So that's a good thing. And it's not so good of a thing. That's why I want you to help us with our repeat business and our
Yeah.
client base, because we can pull all those numbers up and we're not relying on just lightning growth, but you're helping us through all the other processes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, we can definitely help with that.
I can tell you that 2 weeks ago, I think when we talked about doing this, you were at 17%. But again, because it takes time for your leads to come through like when our customer calls us, we had a customer call 2 weeks ago. We just finished her job today. She called us, said, hey, we're going out of town next week. I want you to do all of our floors and finish the other painting that you didn't do last time. We sold a $30,000 job on a phone call that we didn't even go see it. But your leads, we got to go see them. We got to run an estimate. We got to forward it. We got to get them to like us, approve it, go through the process. So it's not going to be a 3-day and we're done. So now we're seeing leads that you've maybe June or July got us are starting to hit now. So I think your numbers are going to start going like this. But I want to make sure we keep.
Yeah.
We want all of it to keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very excited about the numbers. Even at 16%, I was impressed. If you can go 15 to 20% of what the volume that we're doing, and now you're at 35, 36%, possibly almost 45 or 50.
Yeah. Do you have the total close, that revenue amount?
Say that again. Oh,
Do you have the total amount revenue?
206,000. Oh, okay. So wait a second. So since we've been working with you, these are the percentages. I didn't go through the year.
I got you.
I don't think we started until February or March. You were saying January.
I think we started. Yeah, I think it was a little bit later actually.
Okay, but so yeah, we did 206 with you, and we're probably going to hit 300 with you by the end of this month.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think that's those are definitely some good numbers.
And if I can say one other thing about your leads, and I'm not sure if it's like this in all markets, but in the Charlotte market, there are areas where obviously all contractors like we'd like to be in. And when we put out marketing, they get us all over the place. And you're getting us in areas that we'd rather not go. But we're getting a lot of leads in the really good neighborhoods that are really hot. Waxhaw, Marvin, Ballantyne, Fort Mill, Huntersville, by the lake. We're not going into small, rinky-dink houses, troubled area houses. We're primarily going into, $500,000 houses, which nowadays isn't that much, but they're nice areas, all the way up to $1.5 million, $2 million houses. Did not expect that with your marketing. Yeah. Because my thought was they're going to look for people they know, or when they get into that volume. We're going into some really nice houses. We're able to talk to them about our process. They like what they're hearing, and I don't think our other marketing campaigns would have gotten in the door.
Yeah.
That's what's closed, and we just closed a $111,000 job yesterday, and it was
okay.
Yeah, 111,000. That's probably our third or fourth largest job of this year that we've done.
They put down a deposit?
Second, yeah, they gave a deposit yesterday.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. That's awesome.
And
so I guess, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, aside from like the nice neighborhoods and like the appointment setting piece, what would you say you've enjoyed about working with us so far?
Well, there's a lot, because number one, and I think you're going to have other people that have the same problem I've had, and it's a growth issue. Like, we weren't as organized as we should be. What we were doing was working, and I hate to say it, but let's just keep going is what my thought was. You made us become more organized. We're using calendar, the Google Calendar. We know where our guys are more. We know we're being better with our time. We're getting more organized with our time. And now all of our stuff is going into the calendar. We're trying. And you see what we were a mess as far as the calendar was before. It took us probably 3 months to set the calendar up. You were fighting with us forever. But we are going to get better at that. But I love the fact that you've been able to help us through that process. The fact that you're getting appointments, not leads. We don't have to do anything but show up on the time. You've already contacted them. You've sent them stuff about kitchens, about bathrooms. What is that? Like, you drip them for us. Like, hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Hey, we'll see you in an hour. And then we always do a half hour, hey, we'll see you in 30 minutes. But they've been hit so many times prior to that. So I love that. very high percentage of the people are there when they say they're going to be there. We've had a miss or two, like, oh my God, I forgot, but you're hitting them so many times that they'll say, oh yeah, I can't make it. So we're not wasting time driving out to a house. Yeah, setting appointments. They're all there. We're going into good neighborhoods, and the ROI is there. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
We can do everything else right, but if their ROI is not there, none of that matters. You know,
for sure.
we're definitely seeing the ROI.
Yeah. What kind of, this is an interesting question, but what would you say the impact of that, of our service, of the ROI, what has been the impact of that on you and on the business?
That's a really good question, and it's something that, so I'm going. Every company goes through stages. We're going through that first plateau, easy. We're just getting in our rhythm to grow from 1 million to 2 million to 5 million. That's a tough road. You got to, because we're not organized. We're trying to get systems better. We're trying to go through all that. What your system does for us is it allows me to start preparing to scale properly. I don't like hiring salespeople that I can't show them a way to make money. I don't want to hire a sales rep and have him broke for 3 months trying to make money because I can't get him enough appointments. I want him to immediately make money, immediately be sold on our system, and immediately know that he's helping his family, he's helping the business, he's helping his clients. And with your leads, we have a new sales rep. He's actually outperformed our number one sales rep for a couple of weeks off of your leads. Now they're battling it out. Like Jared just had that great sale yesterday. So he's a month into it. Your leads gave him the opportunity to immediately be successful. And then think about what that does. He just had a baby. Now his mind is relaxed. He started a new business. He just had a new job. He just had a baby. Now he says, okay, what they told me is going to happen. I'm seeing it. My commissions, my salary, everything's working. He's excited. He can start preparing what he's going to do with his family over the next 3 to 5 years. He sees where we're going. Now I can talk about the next step, hiring another person, because I know the volume of leads. That's why you and I talked last week about increasing my budget for the lead flow, or the balance for the clicks, because I need to increase my appointments so that I can get the next person hired and make them successful right away. If you don't have the leads, you don't have the right marketing, you can hire the best salesperson. Let's say you hire 3 good salespeople, one might make it, the other 2 are going to be gone. And you're missing opportunities to get successful salespeople immediately successful. And typically a salesperson takes 60 to 90 days. Like, especially in a high ticket item, he's not selling $500 items. He's selling $50,000 kitchens, $100,000 kitchens, and he's successful day one. So now I can hire another. Now I can hire another, and I can put people in position to help my sales reps. I'm not worried about revenue because I know how much revenue I get every time I get an appointment. So it definitely allows me to scale, allows me to think about my future. My people get to think about their future. They're comfortable. Like, we talk about leads, we talk about marketing, we talk about sales every day. And the best part about that is if when we're rocking, everybody's excited. Everybody's talking about big numbers. Man, look at this, look at that. But when there's not appointments and we're not getting, you know how it is, right? Hey man, did you talk to that lady? She was talking last week. She was going to, pull the trigger. We're not doing that. We got so much stuff coming in. So it definitely helps. Now I know, from being at 2 million now to 5 million, starting today, we already planned it out, what we're going to do. You and I talked about what we can do with the increase in budget. Maybe you can add some other services to help us. And I think it changes everybody. Our clients get serviced right because now they get a quality product for a good price, and great customer service. Like, our people, they like our people, which is important. And then my staff gets to feel comfortable about their personal lives, about where the company's going, how we're growing, and I get to sleep at night.
Yeah, I get that. Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, Seth, he's definitely. I think he's gotten into an environment that has been good to him, but also he's just a killer salesman. Like, he's been crushing it.
I had two. Now, Seth had some sales training. Jared did not. And
Really?
Jared's like construction all the way. And one day I said, Jared, you could sell. He's like, yeah, I don't know. He went out and started selling right away. Customers love Jared. I think the best thing about being a good salesperson is to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks the old, swindle this, try to get them to do that and make them sell, sign the deal, sign the deal. Just be real, be authentic, be honest, and put the customer first. I know that sounds, but we always think if it's not right for the customer, we don't want to, we don't need to do it. And Jared is very good. He's a very good person. He's authentic. And then I bring on Seth. He's got a little bit of sales training where he worked in the past. He's good with people. He just had a baby. He wants to make money. He takes on this, and he's doing amazing. And again, it really comes back to having the marketing to back it up.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I mean, obviously, I love you singing our praises. It's great. But what do you think are some areas that we could improve, or you maybe say we're lacking in right now?
You want me to get my pad out? And
Yeah.
no, I honestly, I can't really tell you what you could do to what you're presently doing. But you and I had talked about what I think. See, what I think you could become for people like myself, small companies aggressively wanting to grow, is be my marketing person, my arm. And then you and I talked about that the first time you talked to me. You said you're going to end up dropping other vendors and work with me solely. And I believe that would be true. I think if you did more in the lines with Google, like I know that's something you might add.
Yeah.
Help people like myself who's going to do that and waste $1,000 and not get anything, or $2,000 or $5,000. Help with that process and get a good fee for it, and then take my client base and market to my client base like you market to our prospects now before we meet with them. Talk to them about kitchens, talk to them, drip my clients and charge a fee for that. When they call, we'll have, put them through your system, you set appointments for us, things like that. You would be helping people like myself grow with the ability to really know how they can scale. Because there's money in every list of every company that has their own database, there's money in there. Well, we did 32% off of my database, and we didn't even contact any of them. We're not hitting any of them. You sent the video about roofs that one time for me, remember?
Yeah.
We did one send out to my client base. If we were dripping my client base, calling out to them, that might not be something you could do, but you can have calls going out, emails going out, texts going out, whatever you decide. Drip people like myself's client base for a fee, set appointments for them, increase their revenue. You would help companies grow. I mean, you really would.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the only one that doesn't have time to come up with strategies to market to my client base, but I have a lot of ideas, and so does all these other guys. They're saying, hey, if I could do more bathrooms, well, their clients might be doing. We were doing a bathroom for a client, really good client of ours, standing in his driveway, and he says, oh, how do you like my new roof? And I look up, he's got a beautiful house, $2 million house. He spent over $35,000 on his roof. And he would have called me in a heartbeat if he knew I did roofs. And I asked him, I said, Jaime, we do roofs? I didn't know. I didn't know, Bill. I didn't know. It's my fault. It's my fault. So imagine if we were dripping my clients all the time. I have over 2,000 people that we've contacted, maybe now 3,000, who knows?
Yeah.
If I get one deal a month, one kitchen, one bathroom, one roof, I'm spending with you whatever that fee might be every month. I'm going to triple, quadruple, or 6 times that.
Yeah.
You're going to make money. I'm going to make money. I'm going to scale better. And then I'm getting calls every day for Google ads. We can get you on the first tab. We can do Google. I don't entertain any of them, but if you were able to master that, bring them into your system, set appointments through the Google ad campaigns, you would be helping people like myself be more organized, help them grow, help them be able to scale properly, and take a lot of the stress out of my hands. You'd make more money.
Yeah. No, you're selling me. You're selling me. Like I said, it's something I really want to do. I'm just such a perfectionist where when I do something, I want to make sure I'm doing it 100% right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. And I can tell from what you're doing now that you're a perfectionist, because your leads are no one's leads are perfect, but you're as perfect as you can get them. Like you're setting appointments for us that we can go see and sell. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, it will be something in the future, near future, that we will help you with, and I mean we can talk more about the specific like client marketing stuff too.
yeah.
But I think that could be fairly simple to set up, depending on what we want to hit them with. But yeah, that's good feedback, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's
And
automation on your end. If you
yeah,
automate what you can do for 100 of us or 10 of us, or and hey, I pay for success. If it works, we're going to pay for it. Anybody that is going to use you, if they see results, but you also got to make sure your customers are ready for leads.
hmm
They have to have that next step. Like I'm lucky now to have Seth and Jared.
yeah,
Not that this is going to happen, but if one of them leaves, that puts stress on me. I have to go out and do more sales. We have to scale back a little bit. So the other thing we're doing now is we're always hiring. Like
yeah,
I'm always going to be looking for another sales rep, another project manager, because if we're growing, we're always going to be needing someone. Maybe not immediately, but if something happens, somebody gets sick, we need to move people in. But that's something that you can help your clients with is, sales strategies, stuff like that as well.
yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Kind of the recruitment angle there. Um, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, but how would you describe your ideal client, your ideal homeowner?
Mm. That's interesting. I would say in that like that right around that $1 million home.
hmm
Um, they have money. They're not at the point where they're going to go to like, high end fixtures. We're not doing $300,000 kitchens, but we could. But that nice kitchen, that family that has money, but they're not looking to go crazy with their kitchen. They want quality. Um, and in the areas would be like the South Charlotte area where we do a lot of our work now. Some of the areas you're getting us in: Marvin, Ballantyne, Matthews, Indian Land. Those are beautiful areas. They're growing areas. They're, suburbs. So that would be it. About $1 million, husband and wife, small family. Just,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
purchase. This, what we're getting a lot in Charlotte, and they're probably all over the country, is people who do not want to move up. They've owned a house for 5 years or having a kid. Now they had planned to move up when that got to that stage, and now they don't want to sell and buy a new house at 7% interest. So they're doing bathrooms and kitchens and flooring and everything. So the older houses, young couples.
Yeah. Okay. No, you feel like we have been able to get, for the most part, in those types of homes.
So that again, when you go back to when you're starting with another strategy, marketing strategy, what is that going to do to our close ratio? What is that going to do to our cost per sale or dollar amount per sale? Is it going to go down because you're using leads? All of those have gone up with you. Our average cost per sale is up. We're at 13,042. I can tell you that last year we were at about 8,300, I think.
Hmm.
We're at 13,000, but we had a stretch of 3 or 4 months that we were doing $2,000 invoices every week for a company. So that skewed our numbers. That
Yeah.
makes sense? So now we're
Yeah.
not doing that $2,000 invoice. So if we continue on this path, we're probably in the range of about a $20,000 average per sale. And majority of that is because the dollar amounts that we're selling off of your appointments are higher.
Yeah.
Like we just
Nice.
sold the 111, we've done a 60. I mean, I can tell you right now,
You do have the names possibly of the leads?
no, no, not all of them, but I know you've been asking for them. No, I don't.
All
I,
good.
I do have dollar amount. Well, I could probably tell you a few of them. No, I don't. I just have
It's
uh
all good.
41,000, 19,000, 111,000, 25,000. Those are the bigger ones. We did one for 8, it looks like.
Mhm.
So, I mean, your average is probably about 30,000.
Yeah.
I
That's
can get you
awesome.
that number as well. Like I'll drill down a little bit on it, but
Yeah. With it seems like I talked to a lot of remodelers, right? Not many of them have their numbers tracked, like have those kind of numbers. What are the main numbers that you track, or that you have started tracking recently?
so Yeah, I think probably the majority of your customers, just like I was a few months back, wasn't tracking much. Like,
Mm.
because what we do when we're trying to grow and trying to run the business during the day is what we're doing working? Let's just keep doing it. We'll figure it out later. And we just keep doing what's working. And then sometimes you sit down and you say, well, it really wasn't working like I thought it was, you know? So, I've been working on my numbers over the last few months. But what we track now is estimates, how many estimates we go on. So that's appointments, but it really is estimates, because we might go on an appointment and not do the estimate, or they may not show up. But how many estimates we do. Next track would be, man, you got me. Oh, how many sales we get that
Yeah.
month. Total volume of sales for that month. And then we look at how many estimates, we divide that into the total amount of sales. And the reason why I do that is the little sales trick with salespeople is they always complain about leads. But now if I tell them every lead you go on, every estimate you go on is worth $4,200. So just because you sold that $111,000 job, you may have to go to 20 more that won't buy. So get excited about that one. I don't tell them, but honestly, I've done this all my life. If you're in sales and you do the whole 100 calls, you sell 5. Well, every no is you're closer to a sale. But
Mhm.
4,200 is our dollar amount. So we divide that for the estimates. Then I take the amount of sales we have and divide to find out the average cost per sale.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that's awesome. And are you tracking? You probably are, but your average margin, what does that usually look like?
So it is about 30 to 35%. With new sales reps, stuff like that, we sometimes trim it down a little bit because we're trying to get the sales rep going. But so I haven't checked the numbers over the last 30 days, but we're usually about 30 to 35%.
That's after you pay out the commission for the sales rep or before?
Oh, I'm sorry, before. Yeah.
Before. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we've hit 40 or 45, but our goal is 30 to 35. Everyone's paid on the job. Companies
Yeah.
got, overhead money and everything, and then we pay out our commission. That's not including salaries, obviously, to our in-house staff. But
Right.
everybody related to that job is paid, all materials paid, and then we look at commission to the sales rep and project manager.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And kind of a funky question here, but if you could use one word, or maybe if you need more than one, you can use more than one. But if you could use one word to describe your experience with us, what would it be and why?
Hmm. Um, that's a good question. So the first thing that comes to me is and would be 10x, because that I'm trying to grow my business. And when I think of Lightningrowth, I think about growth. Like Lightningrowth is the right name for your company. Um, I know now, like we talked about, being able to scale, that's why I'm pushing you to do more for me, because with your system, I trust that what you put together, you're going to make things go, and I don't have to try to hire someone in house, do all those other things. But I would say when I think of Lightningrowth, I think of 10x, because I'm going to be able to scale my business to where that million would be 10 million in 18 months. Without you, I'm struggling to find marketing that works, or I'm using multiple marketing strategies. I'm using multiple systems. I'm trying to put them all together. I'm throwing stuff on a wall, hoping it works. Now I know exactly what happens. My numbers are easy. You're taking a lot of the work out of my part because we're getting appointments, not leads.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
massive, because
Yeah.
I'm big on, if I can pay someone to do it, let's do that, as long as it's making sense to grow. And if I can pay you to do it and we can grow, let's do it. Like, it just makes all sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No,
I
that
would
makes
either
sense.
say outstanding, but the word that comes to me is 10x, because I can now scale my business and 10x it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Get me on a stage with Grant Cardone. Let's do it.
Hey,
Um,
if you get me to 25 million, that might be a chance you might be able to get on with.
all right. In 10X, do they have like, I guess, tiers or like, cohorts? It's like I'm in the group of business owners doing 0 to 1 million. I'm in the group doing 1 to 2. Do they have anything like that?
Not that I know of. It's more of like, so I'm involved in their, what they call their platform, 360, 10X 360, which they're going to help me scale my business. So there's not a lot of businesses that do that. There's a lot of businesses that do other training with them, like sales training, marketing. They buy the, and then after that, there's the platforming where they can platform your business, and they may even take part of it and merge it with other companies and things. But I don't think there's a tiered area. But the thing about 10X is if you're in a room, you're going to be standing. I was sitting with somebody who was doing 23 million in
Wow.
his construction business. And he says, hey, let's do lunch. We'll talk. He's called me 2 weeks ago to ask me like, hey, how's things going? Like, it's not where you hang with those that where you're at. It's everyone is going to grow. We're all there to help. It doesn't matter whether you're doing 100 million or you're doing 50,000.
Yeah.
We're all on the same mission. We're just trying to better ourselves, grow our business, help our families, help our employees, people that work with us, our vendors.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's a good environment.
What do you feel like you've learned from being around, for example, that guy doing 23 million and other guys that are just, very financially successful?
Um, Another really good question. I think what the most important thing in that scenario is he was where I am now just a few years ago, 3 years ago. Prior to me getting involved with looking at how to scale my business through the 10X system and everything, that 1 million to 20 million, it's you can't really get your hands around it in some cases. And now it's like it's exactly what they're telling you. Like, put your marketing together, get your sales systems together, scale it, push training, push authenticity, make sure everyone's doing the right thing. Everyone has to be ethical. Everyone's focused on growth. Everyone's focusing on doing everything that we did yesterday better. But sitting with him, you see that from 1 to 20, it's just exactly the way they lay it out. He was where I'm at 3 years ago.
That's awesome. That's
He
a
went
great
from
feeling.
I think he went from 1 to 3 to 8 to 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
8 to 18. That's a pretty.
1 to 3 to 8 to 18. He said, because I think they see another thing they do is they help you buy businesses. So let's say I'm in remodeling and, I almost purchased the HVAC company just last month and it ended up not working out, may end up working out, who knows, but they'll help you add to your volume by bringing on people. They'll help you like, hey, look at their numbers. They're, they got good numbers, but they're just mismanaged. Let's bring them into a system that works. So you imagine if I buy an HVAC company next year and I need leads through Lightningrowth. Do I got to decide and figure out how to do that? Or I just take that, turn it on. Now I get 15 appointments every month for an HVAC company. It's done. We put it right in our system and we start adding their volume into our own. So that's how we went from 8 to 18. And those are the discussions that we're having when we talk,
Yeah.
like what, because I told him I'm thinking about bringing on an HVAC company, and he gave me his advice. It wasn't really a smart idea, which sometimes I do dumb things, but I was still going to do it.
What did that guy make any acquisitions to get to 23 million?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He went from 8 to 18.
Oh, because of the acquisition. Okay,
yeah,
I see.
it wasn't just his volume, but you can't go acquire companies when you don't have systems.
Yeah.
If I acquire a company now and my systems are all over the place, I'm just going to have two companies doing whatever. But if I build systems and I can show track record, there's two things that happen. One is you can acquire and then put them into your system, and two is you can have an asset you can sell. Like, you're helping me build something. So look at it this way: like, if I can build something strong, that's my goal now, because I have families that work for me now. I have dads with children, new babies. Jared has 3 children. I have some of my guys have 2, 3 kids, young children. So I want to be able to grow my business properly, for not just for myself, not for my children, but for my staff's families, my vendors' families. And, that's having the system, being able to acquire companies, and then having an asset that runs itself. Something happens to me, my daughter can take it over. If I'm a small $1 million company, something happens to me, you can call my number tomorrow. It's done.
Yeah.
They're gonna say this number is no longer in service. Jared doesn't have a job. You know what I mean? You got to
Mhm.
start thinking of that because no one's going to be able to pick up that ball and run with it. So now we're building a system so that, and Lightning Growth's a big part of that because it starts with marketing.
Yeah.
I can't run my HR. I can't run my sales if I don't have marketing. Unless we
Yeah.
just go out and knock on doors and say, hey, you know, do you need a bathroom? Do you need a bathroom? Do you need a bathroom? That's my marketing. But if I have the marketing, we can work on all the other structures, put the systems together, and I have something that will grow beyond me.
Mhm.
You know? And then my people are safe. They can,
Yeah.
they'll have a job if something happens to me.
Yeah. No,
So
that's a great way to think
where we're
about it.
at now.
Yeah. Yeah. The responsibility is bigger than just,
Yeah.
making yourself some money. You got a lot of families to feed, a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah. When you're struggling to get to that million, you're just worried about revenue. Like how much can I make? How can I stay alive, survive, grow, pay my people? But when you start thinking about true growth, you start thinking about the impact it has on everybody around you. Like you start doing 5, 10 million, you're pushing out to other people. You're like, if I'm not your customer, that hurts your family, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm spending 5 or 8 grand a month with you back, you know, at that point. Something happens to my business. Wow, there's 100 grand in revenue comes out off your plate. So I need my company to go for everybody. And that's when you can acquire, you can build something that runs without me.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and I wanted to touch on one thing because I think this is something that a lot of guys could get some value from, and we've talked about this a little bit before. You're obviously a great salesman. You've closed a lot of deals. You might not consider yourself that, but like I think a lot of guys could learn some interesting lessons from you. What does your typical sales process look like from the moment you step into a customer's door or step out of your truck?
What does it look like or what it should look like?
What should it look like?
What it should look like. So I'll go through and I'll tell you what it does look like, and then I'll add some things that we probably should do. Number
Okay.
one and most important thing to me is always be on time and be presentable. Obviously, you know, you don't want to go in there. None of my people that are on sales smoke cigarettes, but you want to smell nice. You don't want to do anything on the first impression. So we wear our CHS shirts. Some of us wear the CHS hats. Um, we come on time, and on time to me is 5 or 10 minutes before the appointment. It's
Mhm.
not racing to the door at 12:05 if it's a 12 o'clock appointment. That's not on time. So, and then we contact them 30 minutes prior. And my thought is if they're doing 3 appointments, let's say, if they're doing a kitchen and they have 3 different people come out, and my company and another company do that and one doesn't, we're ahead of the game. 2 of us are ahead of the game. We come to the door, we introduce ourselves, and then it's whatever personality you have, just be yourself because it's all about being authentic. Someone asks you a question you don't know the answer, just say, that's a great question. I don't know. I'll get back to you. Like, don't try to come up with some answer and, you know, talk your way. Just, and then be authentic, go through the process with them, ask the questions about the project, get all the data, make sure you answered any questions they have, and then let them know that you're going to get back to them with an estimate within 24 to 48 hours. And then we make sure we stay on that. We used to do estimates, took us 3, 4, 5 days. What we hear, especially when you're doing large projects, when can you get us an estimate? We'll have it to you within 24 to 48 hours. Wow, that fast? The other guy told me 3 weeks. Well, we don't need 3 weeks. You know, like if he's taking 3 weeks to put your estimate together, how long before he puts you on the schedule? How long before he does your job? I mean, we can do your estimate in 24 to 48 hours. We're going to send it to you via email, and we're going to let you know that we did. That's all the things we do. And now comes the things we should be doing. We sent you the estimate. We text you, hey, Keegan, we just sent you the estimate. Let us know if you have any questions. And we all know that that's not a sales process. The next sales step would be, let's say they don't reply that they got it. The next morning you call them. Keegan, hey, it's Bill. Sent you the estimate last night. Want to make sure you got it. See if you had any questions. We saw it, you know, have that conversation. We should be texting them more. We should be reaching out to them more. We should be sending them emails about kitchens to get them excited about kitchens if we're doing a kitchen quote. We should be sending them information about bathrooms if we're doing a bathroom quote. And then we should be dripping about everything else we do, roofs and everything else, flooring, painting, everything else. But those are the processes that I want to add to what we do. So when we send the estimate, we text or call them and say we sent it. And then myself, Jared, Seth, or maybe someone else in the office will reach out, maybe with a text, maybe with a call. If they're communicating back and forth, then we get a little bit more, I don't want to say aggressive, but we focus more on them. But if we text you a few times, you don't text us back, Keegan's done. Like, he's not interested. And that's not a good sales process. But if you say, oh, we got it, we did, and you ask a question, or we start trying to communicate with you more, thinking there's more interest. But we got to get better at that. Because after an estimate, the numbers, and I'm not sure about it, this is what I'm hearing, it takes I think it's 6 to 8 touches after you do the estimate to close a deal. We're trying to do it in 1 or 2. And we're selling 2 million. So how do you help me touch them more after through the drip program? What if we're able to get another 20 or 30%? What if we did another 600,000 because we dripped all of our estimates better? You know, when we're doing let's say we do 3 million and then we do an extra 10% off of dripping better. That's another 300,000.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that you can help us with. We would pay you the fee for that. You know, and you can expand that with all your other customers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have heard that as well. The 6 to 8 touches. I've heard 7 to 12. I've heard a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's not 1 or 2, I can tell you that.
No.
And we're successful at that. That's what's scary.
Yeah.
And that's next, I'm trying to formulate a system that we can just run that, you know.
Yeah.
And pull some more numbers, you know, increase return on investment.
Yeah, for sure. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, because when I start working with the guy who's fairly new, and you know, he's never dealt with like any kind of marketing before, only works off word of mouth. A lot of times he'll say, yeah, I go out and meet with them, I give them a number, and then I email them an estimate, and then and then that's it. And if I don't hear from them, then they're not interested.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're leaving so much money on the table.
Well, the thing about it is, like I said earlier, when you're doing just $1 million or under, you keep doing what's working, and you don't go back and correct. Like, if, let's say I spend $2,000 on marketing and I return to 20,000 in sales, it's working, but it might have returned 50. I could have made it work better, but we don't have time to go back and do all that. So that's the whole systems part that you have to put together if you want to really truly have an asset, you know. And that's where I'm at now. I got to build those systems out, which we have most of it. We have a lot of it, but we need to get better at it. We need to start utilizing it. But I think your client base, if they're using your leads and are successful with it, you imagine if you can get another 10 or 20% out of your leads for that, what that would mean for their ROI, and then what that would mean for you, because you have a client already. You're charging a fee for, now you're getting another fee from that client.
Right.
And you don't have to sell another deal.
Yeah.
You know? And I can tell you, I'd be your client. I mean, if you know, you put systems together, I would be 100% ready to give it a go and work through that process to make it work, because I know you're a perfectionist, you know, and but that's a good thing. But sometimes you just got to start it and work through the problems. And especially if you have someone that says, hey, I'll take the problems, let's just work through it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
I'm throwing it out there.
I got you. Put it in the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there.
I guess tactically, what would it look like, this kind of drip campaign? Would you want us to hit them daily, weekly? Do you want us to hit a specific type of person? Like, what does that look like?
So, I mean, if I was more educated on higher level, those kind of software programs, I would have a better answer. But I know that you can code everybody by kitchens and baths and things, but I don't know if I want to do that. But there's so many different ways you can target my client base or anyone's client base. One would be new leads. They're coming in. Like, let's say they go to my website. They didn't come through your system. They go to my website. I call them and they don't pick up. And we email them, they don't reply. You could be targeting those people, trying to get an appointment. Then there's our old estimates. Like we just did an estimate for a $50,000 kitchen off of one of your leads. We sent them. Now you can drip them like, hey, what do you think of the estimate? What do you think of the estimate? Hey, make sure that, can you just reply back? Whatever it might be. And then you can do more of like a special out to certain people. Like, hey, you've been dripping everybody for kitchens. And then 30 days later, hey, kitchen special, half price off of granite or something. Or
Yeah.
free can lights, do 8 free can lights in any kitchen, whatever it might be. And to the kitchens, and then the bathrooms free, whatever it might be in the bathroom, whatever to target, and then target all of my client base about specific things that we're good with: roofing, bathrooms, kitchens. So if you send out 2,000 emails, it hits you have a campaign, you hit a button, take that same campaign and run it in Oregon, Texas. You know what I mean? You're just using the same campaign, generate leads for me from my client base, and make a fee. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it would work. I do in the past poorly dripping my clients, and every time I did, I'd get 3 or 4 paint jobs, small jobs, like nothing kitchens, baths like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we focus now, especially because we have so much data now on my clients, even we getting 1 deal a month would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Okay. No, that gives me more context into what we could set up, just because there's so many different ways you can drip, and like different filters you can add, different texts you can send, promos. So I want to make sure I understand.
Just on your leads alone. So you drip your lead until we see them, and then you stop dripping, right?
Yeah.
So what if you knew that we just did the estimate for John Smith, and then you just move John Smith into whatever category, and he starts getting, don't forget about kitchens. Don't forget about, look at the accessories we have. Hey, we're offering lights for kitchens at, 50% off, whatever it might be. That would be helpful, because we're not doing it. And if I'm not doing it, and I have the vision of doing it, I'm sure your other clients that are in that 0 to 1 million, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to help people make, a better return on their investment.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. I think it also I'd have to figure out kind of I would have to not get too in the weeds and figure out the 80-20 of like, all right, are we going to, if this person picked this and they received an estimate, but they replied or they haven't replied yet, then do they get this? And there's a lot of different filters and steps we can add, but I think something more general of like a weekly or multiple times a week, kind of like a CHS newsletter with promos, with valuable information.
I've always wanted to do that. And I've never done. And I mean, all those things would be great. So,
okay.
If you were able to do something like that and fee it out, say, hey, this is what it costs to do this package, this package, this package, this package. Use me as the guinea pig, get it all set up for your other clients, help them make a lot more money, and you'll make great,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it could work out. I mean, like transparently, the stuff we would have to figure out too is if we're doing the appointment setting for that as well. If we launch the database reactivation to 2,000 of your people, and let's say we get a 20% response rate, now we're going through another 200 leads. It's
if you get a 20% response rate,
yeah, no, it would be a lot.
If you got a 2% response rate, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
But I used to send out, let's say 800, maybe back then when I had my client base, I'd get maybe 2 or 3, maybe 5 replies. Some saying take me off the list, but 5 replies and 2 or 3 deals. But I would do it once every 3 or 4 months. I wasn't doing it weekly. But if you do it all the time, I think, we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I just hit my list. So my like B2B list of contractors. I hit that list of maybe 300 people that have come in the last few months, and ended up getting like probably 20 responses, or maybe it was 25. And I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And it was
That's
simple.
really good.
It was, hey, name, did you end up figuring out your marketing issue? That was it. And
And that's it.
yeah, and people replied.
And
Yeah.
what they say, I didn't or I did.
A lot of people were like, no. Most people said no, and then I would just give them a call. And
Hey, have you ever figured out your kitchen problem?
yeah. Did you end up? Yeah, we could get creative with it.
Yeah.
Um,
How's your bathroom looking?
yeah, send a little GIF or something, a little
Yeah.
meme. But yeah, there's a lot of ways we could get creative with it. So let me go to the drawing board, see what we can do. I did have one last question for you.
Okay.
What would you say to someone who's considering working with us?
Yeah, it's one of those, I know what you're up against because you're dealing with people that are busy. They're not cash heavy. And if not doing enough volume, they're probably not putting a lot into marketing. So it's a tough sell to do cold call to somebody and talk to them about it. But I would say if you had someone like, so third party validation, like you're talking to another contractor, what's the best way to sell them is to have another contractor tell them his results, third party validation. So for the money that you're charging, if you can afford the fee up front, it's definitely worth them doing because they're going to get a service from you that's, if they have a sales strategy and they're able to go do the appointments and they do them half well, they're going to make money. They're going to make money. If they don't have a sales strategy, they're not good at sales, go work on it. Read a book, work on talking to people, communication, being honest, whatever it might be. But if they go on your appointments and it's anything like the Charlotte market, and I don't know, maybe our market is one of a kind, your marketing is better than any other marketing that I've seen in the past or used. And it's early for me to do return on investment numbers because, again, it takes a while for your leads to start coming in. And I'll have that next month for you. But I would believe that your ROI is very high.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say you got to give it a shot. And if I would tell them if Keegan does what he says he's going to do in the first 30 days, you got to give him a second. So if you're telling you're going to get 5 to 10 leads and you get them 10 or 12, you're not going to sell off those 10 or 12. You know, you can't say, I got these leads today, but I didn't make any money. I don't want to give you another check because you're not getting them little handyman jobs to fix a door. You're getting kitchens or kitchens, baths, whatever the product is. They have to be able to go 2 months into it and consider a good lead an appointment with people who potentially will do a kitchen or a bathroom. That's a good lead. They don't have to have their tile in the garage with their cabinets ready to go or their drawings done and all their money in their bank. Like that doesn't have to be the case. They have to be willing and able to do something in the future. Gather them up, work on your sales strategies, and then track your numbers. And 90 days into it, you're going to see amazing things.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
But if you have clients that are spending money, like I was spending some money when I met you, they need to change it. They need to switch it and move it over.
Yeah. And by the way, Bill, I know you mentioned some like a countertop guy was going to reach out, right?
Ray.
Ray.
Timeless Countertops.
Thomas, is he in your market or is he in a different
Yeah,
market?
he's my granite and quartz guy.
Okay, I see. So he's looking to get more people into his shop.
Yeah.
Or his show. Okay, sweet.
Yeah, he's doing some social media stuff, and it's working, but it's not working great. And you know, I know what he's doing, and it's worked for me as well. But yours is better, so I told him to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Well, yeah. No, I'm sure he'll reach out eventually. I know people are busy. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to talking to him. I also know last time we spoke, you were talking about increasing ad spend. Is that still something you want to do?
Yeah, let's talk next week. We'll probably increase it another, 50% or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, not
right,
yet,
yeah.
but next week for sure.
All right, yeah, just let me know whenever.
I want to try to get another. So I'm trying to figure out whether I need another sales rep or an assistant project manager to help once I get that situated,
Okay.
I'll
For Seth,
definitely.
you're looking for an assistant project manager to basically just keep Seth and Jared so they can keep selling.
Yeah, because like, if they have to stop by a house just to check on something, they don't really need to do it, and I can't do it all the time. So I just need someone that can talk to the subs, the contractors, the other people on the job, maybe discuss stuff with the homeowner, and then relay it back to my, Jared and Seth. So I might hire a sales rep, or I might hire an assistant project manager who might turn into a sales rep, and then just keep feeding that line. Have them train as a assistant project manager, sales rep, that person, and another person. But I'm gonna hire hopefully 2 more sales reps in the next 60 days, man.
Yeah.
We got to get from 2 to 5. And I told you this probably a couple months ago. When I say I'm going from 2 to 5, it's that month we have to be on pace to do 5. So, and I think we will September, hopefully. But it's going to take me doing some things on my side and you pushing what you're doing and getting us more appointments and increasing our ad spend, hopefully helping us with Google and gripping our existing clients.
Yeah, man. Well, no, it's exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff. I can't wait to look back in a year, 3 years, 5 years and see where you're at.
Yeah, we'll look back to this. This is my first time speaking on a podcast, so this will be.
There you go. Yeah, it's exciting. You should really get more into it. Like, I think the way that you communicate, your authenticity, like, it's just natural.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like, I know Mike. You know Mike Claudio? Have you heard of him?
Oh, you and I talked about that name. I've heard the name. I don't know why.
He's just big in he runs a company called Win Rate Consulting. He basically consults he's a similar Grant Cardone type. But he's like specifically for home improvement. And he's great. He does a lot of podcasts and
I might check him out tonight.
Yeah, take a look. He's got a lot of good stuff to say.
Okay, cool.
But sweet, Bill, that was kind of everything I have for you. I really appreciate you taking the time and being so honest and just singing our praises.
Wow, no, that was good. Yeah, and I hope that this helps you because, I used to do exactly what you're doing, but I would be calling insurance guys and bankers and stuff, and everyone's a skeptic. Like, it's how do you get through that first call? And I don't know how you did it with me, but it was more like you were honest with me, and I felt different than those guys who call and are like, we can put you on the first page of Google. I'm like, okay. So, I think if you can market your success stories with me and other people, draw people in that way, and then have them call me or other people, because I would move quicker if you said, hey, call this guy, he's using us, and he was able to break down numbers, not just like, oh yeah, he's great, like what is that, like, oh, he's doing really well. But you doing 36% of our volume on a growth month, and we're in a trajectory going the right direction, and the only one you weren't involved with at all, 100% sure, would be our repeat business and our referral business, which was only 34% combined or 32% combined. You beat them. And then you probably were most of our website and most of our we don't knows.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Like, to be almost half of my business, it's incredible,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it feels great. I mean, that's what you said about the website thing is spot on. Like, I started working with a guy and a roofer a while ago, and we've been running ads in his town for over a year now, and everything has picked up. Like, searches for his company has picked up everywhere, and he's like, I don't really know where to attribute it to, but like,
dude, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get into this, but there's a company that I spend about $400 a month, and they put all these things on Google all over,
like backlinks.
Yeah, Waxhaw bathroom remodel, and then it's going to reach me. I don't know what they're doing, but so she's like, "Oh, your traffic on your website's up. Look at the report." So my debit card got hacked a month and a half ago. So, but you weren't affected because you must be ACHing it out of my account. But everybody that I did automatic withdrawals, I don't even know, start contacting me, and she's one of them. So I'm like, oh, well, let me look at the last report. So I'm looking at the report, and I'm like, okay, yeah, our website clicks are up. That's true. And I'm getting more leads to our website. So what you're doing is working. right before I get off the phone with her, I scroll down to the bottom and it says the key search words.
Mm,
80% of the searches are CHS Construction, CHS. The others are kitchen bathroom remodels.
yeah.
So if someone doesn't know me and they go to Google, they would not type in CHS Construction.
No.
They would type in bathroom remodel.
Right.
And I'm ready to hang up and say, look, I'm getting my debit card tomorrow. I'm waiting for it, whatever. It's going to be here any minute. Well, wait a second. Yeah, you're getting more traffic. I mean, I'm getting more traffic, but how do you know you're getting it? Oh, well, we're doing this and this and this and this and this. I said, well, what would be the keywords that are working? Well, bathroom remodel or kitchen remodel, blah, blah. Okay. But that's not what's happening. And I
Yeah.
told her, and she was silent.
Ooh.
She didn't know what to say.
That's a tough
So
one. Yeah.
now I got to think about whether it's worth $400 a month because I'm seeing massive uptick in my website, thinking that maybe they have something to do with it. They had nothing to do with it. Nothing. Maybe,
Wow.
maybe 2 leads of every week are coming from them, and you're getting us another 8. Like
Mm.
we got. There was one day I got 3 kitchen leads. It was yesterday, the day before. 3 kitchen leads set 2
Wow.
appointments.
You asked them if they saw you
Oh,
on social media?
now, no, not if they follow, but I ask, how did you find us? If they say online, I dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
I say, were you on Facebook? So, no, Google. Oh, okay. No, I was on Facebook. Okay, great. And it's only been the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks, and we're hearing, oh yeah, I saw you on Instagram. I don't know, it was Instagram, social media, whatever. Like,
Yeah. Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
but if they say Google, I say, oh, you found us on Google. I repeat it, and if they say yes, I say, okay, maybe that was a Google click.
Yeah.
But not the 2 that I set appointments with. They were on social media. Went to
Oh, really?
yeah, yesterday. So
That's awesome. I love that.
you could be 50% of our business.
Yeah.
So so my thought is we have to focus on my existing clients, try to get more referrals off of them, try to increase the amount of volume we do through them, increase what we do with Lightningrowth. And then instead of spending money on Google and everything else, I want to put my trucks out. I have 3 trucks with letters on them up now. I want to have them lettered, shirts, hats, and then a billboard.
Mm.
So I'll put the money in a billboard instead of Google clicks and all that. Not Google clicks. This person's charging me $400 a month
Yeah.
for it. I'd rather people see my name. That won't turn into a lead, but then when they see your ad, they go, I see these people, I see these people, I see these people.
Hmm.
So I'm going to try to do that probably. But if you can do most of what we're doing, you're my marketing arm,
Yeah.
you know? And then you
Yeah.
imagine if you just said, hey guys, do you have shirts? We're offering t-shirts, hats. You can say, just send us your logo. You can get 50 shirts and 20 hats for $1,200 and some jackets. I have nice jackets I use. You set up with a vendor. You have somebody go on a website, click what they want. I need customer appreciation gifts.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
talking
true.
about like cutting boards and all that other stuff. You can come up with a kitchen one, go to the website, hit a button, you can ship it out, make $50 every time. I don't know. Like I'm just thinking out, other things you can do as a marketing arm.
Right. I see what you mean.
And take a small guy like me and just do everything he needs in marketing.
Yeah.
Websites, business cards, logo. I mean, that's a lot of bullshit, but you could do
No,
it.
yeah.
You could
No,
be a
that
marketing arm and collect
yeah.
8-10 grand a month from each client.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, that would be, I mean, that's ultimately where we do want to get. You look
Yeah.
at any marketing company, they either end up getting super specific or they become full stack, like full service. And I think we're going to go towards full stack, full service, because I feel like in construction specifically, people just want to work with one guy. Like they don't want to have
That's
someone
true.
do their website, someone do their Google, someone do like.
I hate the
It gets
call from my
confusing.
website guy because I don't even understand why I'm paying him every month. Like he just put a website up and I pay him every month. He doesn't do anything to it. But
What are you paying him? I'm curious.
$99 a month.
Is that hosting?
It's for him to have it posted, everything. Yeah. Like he just
Okay.
freaking month,
Yeah.
$1,200 a year. And it has pictures of drywall that I did 40 years ago. Like I don't even
Yeah.
so outdated. I don't have any time to even look at it or discuss it. But I think if I was dealing with you and you said, we're going to make sure you have a good website, we're going to target your customers, we're going to push for referrals, We're going to drip your estimates. We're going to do all your social media ads and your Google ads. And that package now is $99.99 a month.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
grew into that. Like, okay, I see it. Great. I'm giving you 10 grand a month and we're doing 8 million a month, 8 million a year. I don't care
Yeah.
about $10,000. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't want $1 million clients. You want $10 million clients.
Yeah.
And you got to take your existing clients and get them to 10 million.
Right.
And because when I was doing lead generation, and I'll end it at that, I was really well known for insurance leads. Probably the second most well known in the country at the time.
Wow.
And I took every freaking client I could, the smallest and the largest. But what I did was I took my small clients spending $300 a month with me, and my cousin and the other owners, because I worked for my cousin for like a year, he was shocked how those $300 customers became $1,000, $3,000, $7,000, $12,000. I outperformed all three owners and another sales rep by myself.
Wow.
And it was because I was able to find the big guys, but I took all the small guys and I hired my own salesperson, our own assistant to monitor all my small jobs, all my small people. Like if you were only spending $300 or $400 with me, you were still getting all the same service, but from her.
Mhm.
And I was focused on my bigger clients, but I grew my business that way. And those people were spending tons of money with me. You can get people from $1 million to 2 million in a year or two, 2 million to 5 million. And if I'm making 5 million, I shouldn't be spending 2 grand with you.
Mhm.
I should be spending 5, 6 grand, 7 grand, 8 grand. If you're my marketing arm, and I don't know how many clients you have, but if you took 10 clients from 2,000 to 10,000, it's a big
100 grand
difference.
a month, not bad. Yeah.
It's a big difference. It's a big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
And I think that's doable.
No, I think so. It definitely is. I mean, that's where we want to go. But yeah, I pulled up your numbers here because I was just curious with like how many people have actually s- seen your ads, and I pulled it up. I'll show you right here, and then I'll leave it with that. But your total reach, that's the amount of individual users that have seen your ads, right? That's 93,213 people,
Individuals,
individuals.
93,200. Okay.
And
So,
then your total frequency, which is like the number of times the ad was seen. So someone might see the ads, or total amount of impressions, excuse me. Someone might see the ads 2 or 3 times, so they would count as like 3 impressions, right? The total impressions is 250,000.
so 250,000 people saw my ad more than once.
So no, 93,000 people have seen your ad. You have a frequency of
Oh,
2.69.
so some of those people saw it 3 times.
On average, the average person saw your ad 2.69 times.
2.69.
Yeah.
2.69 times. That's good.
Yeah. No, it's a lot. I mean, we've only generated of those 93,000 eyeballs, we've gotten how many is it? 100 and about 500 leads, a little under 500 leads. So that's 90,000 other people that have,
Yeah.
seen your ads but not necessarily filled out the form where you're still staying top of mind.
Yeah. That's awesome. But you're
Yeah.
not pushing CHS as much on ads, right?
So in some we are like
In the
it's
text,
going from
maybe.
your account in the
Yeah.
text. In the text it mentions CHS, the videos and images not really, but like it's coming from your account. So it's like, CHS Construction Facebook page. Here's the picture. Here's the video.
Yeah. So I got to work on my Facebook page a little bit more. I might want to add some more pictures and stuff to it because
Yeah.
I was doing that months ago. And then when I went to Europe, I stopped and I haven't really done it since. So I'll put some more. We did a lot of kitchens and stuff I could put up there.